I'd just like to, I'm sure you are aware, Susie, but over the weekend, it was a long weekend, and across the world, actually, in England and in Scotland, and also in New Zealand, tribute was paid to the late journalist and our fellow colleague, Phil Cottrell, who would have been 50 years old today had he not been brutally attacked on his way home from work in December of 2011 and subsequently died. His aim was to visit 100 countries by the time he reached this 50th milestone today.
I remember this, yes.
Which is terribly important to him. He was a great traveller, and he'd already knocked off, about nearly 30, I think.
Yeah, because he'd done a fair few of them. And
at least halfway. I think he was halfway.
I was going to say, I thought it was about 50 that he'd done, because there'd been a lot, and this was a great goal for him. Like you say, he was always, because he worked night shift.
Yes.
And he was attacked after going home after a night shift, sort of 5:30 in the morning or whatever time he left. But he would always work night shift, and then suddenly he'd not be there for ages.
I know.
Oh, he's away somewhere. He's off on his travels again.
Honestly, I've never known. I knew no one who knew what his holiday leave entitlements were. I've never understood it myself, but he knew down to the minute how much he was entitled to have. And anyway, so he spent a lot of time travelling. Well, it was his mission to get to 100 countries by the time he was 50. And obviously he was denied 7 years of those 50 years. So his friends and family and colleagues, since his death, have undertaken to travel on his behalf to hit the 100 country mark. And when they travel, they take one of, I think it's 4 key rings, 4 or 6, I can't remember, 4 I think it is, 4 key rings that are specially engraved, that his sister Sue has kindly provided, and beautiful little power inlaid boxes. And they go to whoever's travelling next, and that the keyring gets sent to them, and they fill in and tick off on the list that she's been having. And she's really driven this, like she really has driven it, going, who's going to Alaska, who's going here, we need someone to go to Guatemala. It's just
shout outs on the Facebook group. It's exactly. Like, we need to get someone to Cuba or wherever it is.
And across the world, people would put up their hands and go, I'm going, I'll go there, I'm going here and such, I'll take a keyring. And it has been extraordinary. And I think it was just in this month.
It was this month.
May, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was actually May. 100 countries was ticked off on the list.
Yeah.
And hats off to each and every one of you who have travelled on Phil's behalf. And hats off to all of you also who raised a glass to him over the weekend to celebrate today's birthday. And I'm going to raise a glass myself tonight.
Yeah, I saw Lloydie actually.
Yes,
he was one of the people raising a glass.
Absolutely he was. I couldn't go yesterday, and so I sent him a text, and he sent one back and said that, thank you very much indeed. And we gathered and remembering, and they were remembering his quirks in particular. Fabulous quirk, because he was a very quirkful man. Such a bright man, such a loss, such a terrible loss, and we miss him keenly to this day. But how wonderful that in his spirit has been travelling.
Well, it's such a great tribute. It was such a fantastic way of keeping his spirit and of keeping that alive that Sue did. So just
absolutely,
a really great effort.
And I think Sue herself is actually travelling at the moment for him. she took him to I think she's gone to Tahiti to lie in the sand for this particular anniversary, and that's what he liked to do. So
that seems like a good place to be.
Absolutely. So hats off to Phil this morning, and this one is for him.
Let me say, crush upon your shoulder. Let me
That's Enya and Orinoco Flow. It's 3.5 minutes to 6, RNZ National.